audience. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Michalenko, and today I will be talking to you about genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. I'll be going over what they are and some positive and negative effects that they've had on society in the past years. So to start off with, I'm going to explain what is a genetically modified organism. So GMO is an organism whose genetic makeup has been altered by some type of genetic engineering. And so I have a few pictures here to kind of show what happens when genetic engineering is done on products. So here we have lettuce. The one on the left is organic, so it hasn't been genetically modified, and the one on the right has been genetically modified. So we can see that the one that has been genetically modified has a more rich color and is larger in size. The second photo I have here is of glowfish. So they have been genetically modified to glow, and they're just a common fish that's sold in pet stores for use. Okay, so I will also be talking about some positive and negative effects of genetically modified organisms. So to start off with, I will go over some of the positive effects and uses of genetically modified organisms. First off, in the medical fields, GMOs are very commonly used. One major example of this is with insulin. Insulin is a protein that is made up by the pancreas that regulates our blood sugar. Diabetics, or people with the disease diabetes, lack that protein, and so they are unable to keep their blood sugar at a stable level, and this can sometimes be fatal for them. So in 1978, scientists at Genetically Incorporated came up with a synthetic insulin that was made from E. coli bacteria. So using this, using this synthetic insulin, diabetics are now able to live functional lives and go on with their day-to-day activities as normal. A second type of medicinal use of GMOs is with the hepatitis B vaccine. In 1987, a vaccine was made or licensed for use for hepatitis B. Previously, there was a vaccine for hepatitis B, but it was done through plasma, so using that vaccine made patients susceptible to blood diseases. And so using this new vaccine helps get rid of that issue or concern for the patients. Another thing they're trying with this vaccine is to now put it into potatoes so that the patients can just eat the potatoes and get the vaccine rather than having to use an injection with the syringe. This is particularly useful in third world countries where having a lot of syringes around really isn't the best idea, and it'd be better for those children and those citizens to be able to just eat the potatoes and get the vaccine. So those are only two of many examples that GMOs are used in the medical field. A couple different ways they're being used that are being looked over by the FDA currently is there's a vaccine or a medicine being used for gum disease, and there's also one for blood clotting. A second positive effect of genetically modified organisms is through the use of farming and crops in the United States. One of the biggest crops that's genetically modified is BT corn. It's a type of sweet corn, and it's been modified to get rid of pests. So when pests go onto the corn, it actually releases a pesticide to kill those pests. And this pesticide is derived from the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis. So this is very useful because now farmers don't have to use pesticides on their crops, and they have a higher chance of producing crops that will thrive rather than die or suffer from these pests eating them. This is also good for the workers who are on the fields. They don't come in contact with the pesticides, and neither do the public when they consume those products. This is also good for for the ecosystem because the pesticides are no longer being entered into our atmosphere. A second crop is golden rice. This rice is modified to have higher amounts of vitamin A, and this is used for third world countries where rice is the main diet. And having the higher vitamin A in this rice helps keep those citizens of those countries from being malnutritioned. A third crop that has been genetically modified is the papaya. The papaya normally is susceptible to the ring spot virus, and at the University of Hawaii, they've modified the papaya to resist this virus. So now they're able to thrive in these tropical areas where they're grown. This crop has only been passed for consumption in the United States. It hasn't been passed in other countries, which kind of leads us to the negative effects of GMOs because it's unknown really how beneficial they are to us, which is why the U.S. is one of the only countries that allows us to consume those products. So bringing me into the negative effects of GMOs, one of them is monetary benefits. Farmers may be using GMOs to up their profits, and it's not really aren't really concerned about the public's consumption of those products. For example, if you have two products, like shown in my visual, the lettuce, you're going to go for the more appetizing lettuce, the one that's going to give you the best value, which would be the larger one and the one that has the better shade of green. That's what we're just inherently more drawn to. And so this is placed on us if the consumer is unaware of maybe the dangers of a genetically modified crop. They could be susceptible to those dangers. A second negative effect of genetically modified organisms is the ethical issues. Like I said, we don't know really the negative effects of GMOs, and we can see their benefits right now, but we don't know how they're going to affect us maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now. So it's hard to know really how well those benefits are going to be for us in the future. So in conclusion, I've gone over a few positive effects of GMOs, a few negative effects of GMOs, positives being used for in the medical field and with crops and our farming communities, a few negatives being the monetary issues with the farmers being greedy or ethical issues in our environment. So I hope that this is giving you a slight overview of genetically modified organisms, giving you a better idea of what they are and how they really do affect us. And I hope you've gained a little bit of insight on the topic. Thank you.